The week she spent away was quiet, eerily so. She had left, flaunting her affair like a trophy, sending messages full of arrogance. If you don't like my choices, then get a divorce. I didn't panic. I didn't reply. I stayed calm, observing, planning, preparing every detail. Every lie, every betrayal, every hidden encounter had been quietly noted. I changed locks, organized finances, and ensured every personal item was accounted for. This wasn't about revenge in a fit of anger. It was about control, authority, and exposing arrogance at the perfect moment. When she returned proud and tan, she would walk into a world she assumed she still controlled. But instead, she would find absence, precision, and a reality she couldn't manipulate. Patience and planning had created the stage for exposure, and nothing she had done in that week could undo what was about to happen. The day she returned, I was calm, composed, and deliberate. She walked into the house smiling, radiant, expecting admiration, forgiveness, or perhaps a spark of jealousy. But the home she had left untouched in her arrogance now felt foreign. Subtle changes, clean organization, and a silence heavier than words greeted her. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't demand explanations. Instead, I waited, letting the tension grow naturally. Then, in a calm, even tone, I delivered the words that shattered her confidence instantly. Divorce papers are on the kitchen table. All your bags are already packed. Get out of my house now. The sudden weight of finality made her falter. The proud, carefree woman from her week away could no longer hide behind charm or arrogance. Her eyes widened, her skin drained of color, and for the first time, she saw consequences she had never considered. Her shock was immediate. Confidence melted into panic as she processed the scene. The divorce papers, the neatly packed bags, the calm composure on my face. She tried to speak, her voice trembling as she sought excuses, explanations, anything to regain control, but words failed her. Every plan she had carefully constructed for indulgence and secrecy collapsed in a matter of seconds. The guests who had come for casual Sunday visits witnessed the drama unfold silently. Their expression shifted from curiosity to disbelief as the woman who had flaunted her freedom was suddenly powerless. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't shout. The quiet authority I projected amplified her shock. Her arrogance, once so brazen, now worked against her. The week of indulgence had set the stage for exposure, and she had walked right into it, blind to the consequences she had earned through betrayal and entitlement. Minutes passed as she struggled to maintain composure. Her attempts to justify her actions fell flat. The evidence of preparation and calm authority spoke louder than any word she could utter. The house, once her domain, now reflected my control. Subtle details, arranged furniture, neatly packed personal items, locked closets, created an undeniable atmosphere of finality. Her attempts at charm, panic, and pleading collided with the stark reality. She no longer had influence here. Her lover, the man she had flaunted publicly, could do nothing to rescue her from the consequences I had prepared. Every detail, every quiet action, demonstrated authority reclaimed and dignity restored. The week she spent pursuing selfish pleasure had created the perfect conditions for her public and personal humiliation, and I remained calm, steady, and deliberate, letting the natural weight of her exposure fully settle on her conscience. Her calls and messages began immediately after she realized the truth. Panic had replaced arrogance. Desperation replaced charm. "Please answer," she texted repeatedly. "We need to talk and you don't understand." But I didn't respond. Each attempt at communication only underscored the finality of my actions. The lawyer had already processed everything, including legal notices and financial arrangements. She had assumed absence meant freedom, indulgence, and advantage. But absence had become my ally. Timing, preparation, and calm authority had shifted the balance. Her power, once derived from deception and manipulation, evaporated instantly. Her lover, once a source of pride and excitement, now became part of the chaos she could no longer control. And I, steady, silent, and composed, watched as her week of arrogance unraveled into immediate, undeniable consequence. No yelling, no dramatics, Just cold, efficient finality. By evening, the full effect was visible. Her face was pale, her arrogance replaced by disbelief. Her voice quivered with panic and attempts at negotiation. Guests previously unaware now witnessed the quiet authority I wielded without theatrics. Every small detail, the orderly bags, the divorce papers, the locked closets served as a testament to control regained. She realized too late that her casual, flippant message had triggered the collapse of the life she thought she controlled. There was no shouting, no confrontation, only the undeniable presence of deliberate action. Every calculated move had turned betrayal into exposure and arrogance into public humiliation. Her lover, the person she assumed protected her, was now irrelevant in the wake of carefully executed strategy. The silent consequences were more devastating than any argument, leaving her powerless and shocked before everyone in the room. By nightfall, her panic deepened and the reality of exposure fully settled in. Friends and neighbors who had been casual witnesses now understood the complete reversal of power. My wife's week-long indulgence intended to assert independence, and dominance had only amplified her humiliation. The meticulous, calm, and deliberate steps I had taken left her without allies or excuses. Every whispered attempt to negotiate failed. Every dramatic plea was crushed under the weight of preparation and authority. The lesson was clear. Betrayal carries consequences. Arrogance invites exposure, and calculated action delivers results far beyond impulsive anger. I remained steady, calm, and deliberate, unaffected by her panic. The silent, precise orchestration had accomplished its goal, leaving her stunned, powerless, and forced to confront the reality she had ignored for so long. Every step, executed quietly, magnified the shock and humiliation. By morning, her world had completely shifted. Divorce papers lay on the table, bags were gone, her secrets exposed, and her arrogance obliterated. The house, once a symbol of shared life, now reflected authority reclaimed, boundaries set, and dignity preserved. She had assumed her week of indulgence would empower her, but it had only prepared her downfall. Her lover, her confidence, and her plans all crumbled under the weight of deliberate, calm, and precise action. I didn't yell, I didn't dramatize, and I didn't engage beyond what was necessary. Silence, patience, and preparation had delivered the ultimate consequence. She faced humiliation, exposure, and reality, shockingly swift and undeniable. And as I watched her absorb the impact, I realized the power of deliberate action. Betrayal met precision, arrogance met consequence, and control returned to its rightful place. My life, my dignity, and my authority had been restored fully and irrevocably.